everyone, this is Mandy Von Knits. I am coming to you from my crafting space where I love to talk about knitting and crocheting and sometimes machine knitting depending on how I'm feeling, though not too much lately, but we'll see if that changes. I am an avid sweater knitter. I am a mother of two. I live in southeastern Michigan and it is October 7th or 6th, or it's Sunday. I'm not sure what date it is. It's somewhere around there, right? After a while, the days kind of all blend together anyways, so we're just gonna go with the beginning of October 2023. And I have a couple of finished objects to show you guys, and I have some new works in progress that you haven't seen yet. So hopefully you'll like this short podcast. I make one every week. I record on Sunday and then I spend some time editing and I upload on Thursdays. At least that's been my schedule lately. And I welcome all crafters and anyone who wants to come and say hi. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you find this at least somewhat entertaining. My first finished object is what I'm wearing, and this is the Icy Spring pattern by Joji Locatelli. I finished it for her fall make-along, and I love it. I knit this in Madeline Tosh, and I use their Twist Light base, I think it's called. Now, this wasn't something I knew last podcast, but I actually looked at the stats for this yarn, and it comes in 115 gram hanks. So last time when I measured my yarn that I had left, or the yarn that I had left over, I noticed that one of the cakes was 115 grams. And I'm like, oh wow, cool. I don't know how that happened, but now I do. It comes that way. So I started off with 3 cakes. I used 2 and just a teeny tiny bit. So I have 105 grams left of yarn, which is enough to make a muscle burrow. So I might do that depending on how my daughter feels about it. I know that she really does like this color, but I don't know if I want to knit that anytime soon because I'm kind of, I love the color, but I think that making a sweater and a hat out of this yarn back to back would just be too much. So I might put it away in my sock yarn container and pull it out in a little bit. I think that'll probably be best. But the yarn is merino and nylon, and it's super comfy and cozy, and I really do like the pattern. Now you can see the garter cuffs. These didn't bother me on the sleeves at all. It bothered me down here because you had to purl for a very long time, which is not ideal, but I do like the way that it came out, and it's really comfortable. It feels very warm, and I love the way that the colors didn't really pool in large spots. Pretty even on the color distribution, although the sleeves were kind of a little hit and miss, but honestly, nothing that I would be too concerned about. I like this yarn. I like the fact that it comes in 115 gram hanks, and I might try to make something else out of it depending on how I feel. Like I said, I think that this sweater, blouse took, I think the final number was 855 yards, but I'll put it down below. It was somewhere around there. Like I said, I had 105 grams left, and I'm excited to talk to you about my next cast on, which I've already started for the next item that I'm going to knit from Joji Locatelli for the make along. But before that, I did finish one other thing. Last week, I showed you a granny star blanket that I started. And this is made with Premier puzzle yarn. And it's a bulky yarn, and it is done. So I used exactly three skeins for this, and it came out to be a really good size. I love the colors, and I think it's going to be really cute for the little girl that it's meant for. And I love the pattern. This is my favorite pattern. You can kind of see right here the star, like the star stitch. Well, it's not a stitch, but you can see the star pattern. If you, right here, like the points. I will put up a picture in the corner because it will allow you to see it, how it lays flat and everything like that. This took me no time at all. Maybe a day or, no, not a day, like 2 or 3 days. I worked pretty hard on it on last Sunday and then finished it, I think, on Wednesday maybe. But it's going as a gift for my husband's coworker, and I'm excited that I'll be able to send that out in just a little bit. If you have never done a crochet star blanket before, I highly recommend it because they're super easy. It's just the granny stitch, and it's a little bit different from obviously it's different from a square, but in terms of difficulty, once you get the corners set and you know where they are, it's the same amount of easiness. I crochet this blanket for pretty much everyone at this point. This is, like I said, this is for my husband's coworker's wife who's having a baby. They have an older daughter, and she's getting this blanket. If you check out a couple of episodes ago, I made a blue blanket for the new baby, and I'm hoping that they like those. But I'm also making a flax sweater, and I cast that on as well. Now, I love the flax pattern, and if you haven't knit it, you should give it a try. It's super simple and easy. And oh my god, this is so cute. Oh. So there are 2 options on the flax whenever you start it. And I'm pretty sure there weren't when I did my very first one, but now there are. Or if there were, I didn't notice. But the 2 options are, you can either start with the ribbing and work your way down, or you could start and cast on and go straight into the sweater body. I started and cast on and went straight into the sweater body, so you can kind of see how it's rolling. But after I'm done working the body down, I will come back and pick up the neck and knit the ribbing. This color is so pretty. I love the way that this is striping. The stripes are working up really great. I was kind of worried that there would be a huge discrepancy whenever I joined in the round, or not in the round, whenever I broke the sleeves off, that the stripes would get a lot thicker and it would be super noticeable, but I can't tell the difference. Well, you can kind of tell a difference, but it's nothing that that's going to jump right out and kind of bother you. I'm wondering how the sleeves will work up, because that's a super tiny circumference, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Either way, it's going to turn out to be a really cute sweater for a little girl. This is knit in Premier Everyday Anti-Pilling DK Prints. This colorway is Princess, and I have another colorway that is pretty much just like this, except I think the coral and the the coral and the purple are swapped out with like a blue and a light blue, or at least it's something like that. And I thought that they would make nice matching sweaters for the older sibling and the younger baby that's being born. I do love the way that this is knitting up, and I started this last week after I finished Icy Spring, but I worked maybe a couple of rows just to get it established and then put it away until yesterday. And I knit pretty much all of this yesterday. This is a size 4 to 6, which I think will work out very well. My gauge is a little bit bigger than what you're supposed to, so I'm getting less stitches per inch than I should, so the sweater is going to be just a tiny bit bigger than 4 to 6. Plus, knitting is really stretchy. The only thing I would ever really worry about with a little kid is the head size, and obviously since I cast right on, that's huge, so we're good there. I can judge and see once I get to the neckline how long I'll make the ribbing. But I suspect that next weekend, I will take this with me to the water park and hopefully be able to finish it sometime between the week and the weekend. I should be able to finish this and hopefully get a good start on the blue one. The blue flax that I'm going to make is going to more than likely be like a 1-year size. At least I'm pretty sure the flax comes in a year size. It sounds like it should. They've got so many different sizes. The closest to a year that they have is what I'll end up casting on. And you know, the baby sweaters will go super fast. This was the first time that I ever used Premier DK anti-pilling, and it's great to work with. It's super soft. I chose acrylic on purpose because this isn't something I was knitting for my kids. It's going to a mom of soon to be 2 who's going to have a newborn, and I mean, I would probably, after my daughter was born, I would have cried if somebody would have given me something to hand wash, because that's a lot of work, right? And depending on the type of kid that you have, it might not be too easy to hand wash stuff. And if you don't have help, like, I don't know if this lady has help or not, but it's always better to assume that somebody doesn't instead of that they do. But this is, I mean, it's acrylic, so you can just throw it in the washer and dryer. And with kids running around everywhere, my daughter's big on like going out into the backyard and just digging and finding bugs and worms and dirt and all sorts of weird things. Over the summer this year, she would go in the backyard and like transplant worms from one spot to another spot. Whatever floats your boat, kiddo. But she did have a science. At the end of last year, she had a science, I don't want to say experiment, but I guess it kind of was, but it wasn't really an experiment. It was kind of like a watching and observing, where they grew bugs from, I think they were darkwing beetles maybe? Or no, they were the thing that was before darkwing beetles. So mealworms, maybe? I have no clue. They grew from the baby stage to darkwing beetles, so whatever they were. Anyway, she was enamored with that whole process. She loved it. She would come home every day and tell me about how her beetle was doing. I love these little flaxes. They make me want... So when my daughter was like 4 and my son was around 8, I knit them both flax sweaters and these little stocking hats that had like really long tails and a pom-pom at the end. And I have a really cute picture of them wearing them. And it's on one of those canvas pictures. I swear it's my favorite picture of them. But the reason I brought it up is because I used mandala cakes for those. And I was really picky about the stripes. And I basically color controlled both of their sweaters, so I had a million ends to weave in. The colors that I used for my daughter were pretty much these in the mandala cake. I think it was called like unicorn, possibly. And then my son's actually looks like the blue and gray one that I have in this. So in hindsight, I wish I would have known about this yarn sooner. It would have saved me a heck of a lot of trouble about 5-ish years ago when I was making those sweaters, because I really like the way that this came out, and this is no color controlling at all. So I don't think it could have striped nicer. So that is going to be a size 4 to 6 flax sweater. Now for the only other thing I'm working on, and you should recognize this yarn if you watched last episode, this is Like a Cloud. Now I printed out the pattern just to show the picture, which is not very good quality, but this is the cardigan that I cast on using this blue acrylic-y fuzzy yarn that I found in a container in my room. And I'm not sure where it came from, but okay. So the thing that I like about this is that this uses a very simple yet pretty pattern, and I love the way that it's coming out. That blue is so pretty. So last week I said I was going to swatch, and I will not lie, I did not swatch. And the reason that I did not swatch was because let me show you right here. So I got one of these from Jimmy Bean's Wool. Now this is 1 inch, and it is a way to easily tell how many stitches you are getting per inch. So now this cardigan has you start off by casting on as many stitches as you need for the back. So what did I do? I cast on as many stitches as I need for the back, and then I knit a whole bunch and measured my gauge. And I am on gauge, which is very pleasantly surprising. I'm knitting a size medium, and that is 44.5 inches. Now this is back, and it is half of that. And this needle is 22 inches, and so it's like dead on perfect, which was very interesting for me. I don't know that I've ever really hit gauge that well, but I'm not complaining. So I'm holding this double, and it's super soft. I can tell that whatever it is, it's man-made, so I'm sure it's just some like brushed acrylic, but I really do like the way that the stitches are coming out, and I'm happy to be able to use it instead of just having yarn sitting around with no purpose. And I'm hoping that if my daughter likes this once I'm done with it, like I'll let her feel it and see if she likes the way that it feels, that I can make her a cardigan out of something similar that I have in light pink, which is her favorite color. But this is going very fast. I cast this on today and I've got quite a bit of stitches here. Like I said, this is 22 and a quarter stitches on this for the back, and I have 3 boxes tall so far. I don't know if you can tell, but there are little itty bitty boxes in this pattern, so it's an easy way to count. What you do is you knit so many inches to where you get under your underarm, and then you start working the front so you can join them and then work the cardigan in the round. I am hoping that this is acrylic because I just thought, what happens if it grows? I mean, it's not a big deal if it grows because it's a, like I said, it's a cardigan, right? So it'll just have a little bit more ease. I'm excited to use it. I'm excited to knit it, and I really do like this blue color. I think it'll go good with like a black undershirt. Well, or anything. I mean, it's a cardigan, right? But that's pretty much all I've been working on lately. It seems like a lot, but I've been trying to concentrate on the gift knits that I have for my husband's coworker, and then just tying up some of the sweater items that I want to knit before I go and have surgery at the beginning of November, like a month from now. So I'm hoping I can get like a cloud done before my surgery. Maybe, maybe not. Probably. I should be able to. I guess it really depends on how slow the purling pattern is. But, you know, it's gone fast so far. Like I said, that's just a day. And it's not even a full day. It was like 1 to 5. So more like 4 hours with a lot of breaks in between. I haven't really been concentrating on knitting much today. I haven't felt well. It feels like it's going to rain. It's very cold outside. It's dreary. Yesterday we went to the zoo for their zoo event. My daughter went and dressed up like her butterfly outfit, and then they did trick-or-treating, and it was super cold outside, and I'm glad it's over because it was cold. But I think that's definitely all I have to tell you about knitting. For reading, I haven't been doing all that much reading this week. I read through, what did I read through? I read a book called Survive the Night. It was very interesting and weird. So, a long time ago, when I was in like middle school or high school, I used to read a lot of books by Christopher Pike. If you've read any books by Christopher Pike, you know how the ingredients to the story I want. You know the flow of the story. Survive the Night reminded me a lot of a Christopher Pike book. There was a girl and something terrible happened to her, and now for some reason she's in this awful situation and she's trying to get out, and she thinks that this person is trying to abduct / kill her, but she's not sure. But there's just a bunch of weird stuff going on. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, it wasn't really that guy who was doing it. Now it's this person. Then it's this person. Then surprise, wait, no, it's okay. I'm not going to say anymore because I'll ruin the story if you want to read it. But it was a book that was trying to be scary but wasn't really scary. Kind of like a Goosebumps / Christopher Pike book. It wasn't bad. But I mean, that was all I really have to say about that one. I also finished the Legend series by Marie Lu. The final book is Rebel, and it was very good. It wasn't as good as the other ones. I really liked the second one. I really liked the first one. The third one was okay. They kind of swapped out a main character. They took away the girl main character, June. They didn't take her away. They just didn't make it from her point of view. And instead they swapped in the brother of the other main character, and that was fine. But I just didn't like it as much as the other ones. The end did make me cry though. I started reading Lords of Deconstruction, I think it's called. It's the next book in the Adrian Tchaikovsky series that I'm reading, and so far so good. I've also started Cinnamon and Gunpowder, which is a book that my aunt sent me, my husband's aunt, my aunt-in-law, but my aunt basically. And I'm excited to read that. I read like till chapter 2. And then I went online and ordered a book holder so that I could read while knitting, just because it was getting kind of complicated to try to have my phone hold down the book as I'm actually reading it. Because normally I'm just listening on I'm just listening from my Audible or Libby. But I think that's all that I've been reading lately. It sounds like it's raining outside. Anyways, there's not much going on for the next week, except I have a pre-surgery class on Tuesday. It's gonna take from 11 until 1, and it's a virtual class. And it's not that I mind having a pre-surgery class, it's just I've already had 2 back surgeries. I don't want to have a class, right? I mean, that's a valid point. Anyways, my husband has to go to it to attend virtually because he'll be the one helping me out with the any after surgical issues that I have. I'm not expecting it to be a big deal, but I guess we'll see. I'm hoping that it doesn't scare me more than I already am. But I guess we'll see. Other than that, we're going to the water park next week. And by water park, I mean the indoor water park, where it's climate controlled at 80, and it's nice and beautiful and warm, and I can sit and knit and read while my kids play in the water. I'll also head to the yarn shop there, and that will be great. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have to talk about this time. I hope you guys had a great visit, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week. Or, no, I'll see you next week. I was trying to figure out if I'll have time to record an episode on Sunday, but I should. If not, I'll just do it on Monday and you guys won't notice. You won't notice the difference. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a great day. Bye!